Welcome back to the After Dark podcast where we discuss topics that are none of our business. It's your boy Black Mike on the mic. We got Big Stir up top. You already know what it is. Make sure you like and subscribe. Ring the notification bell so you never miss an After Dark episode. Give us 5 stars and leave a comment on all audio platforms. Woo! Episode 37. Where we stand on business, or I guess where I stand on business. It's not quite yet. Everybody knows. I know what everybody's fucking waiting for on this episode. I know what everybody's waiting for. And guess what? You got to keep on waiting. Bitch ass niggas, punk ass niggas. You know, rooting on my downfall and shit. So I'm not even going to tell you how my week's been. Fuck y'all. Y'all know how it's been. Sterling, how have you been, man? How you been?
All right, man. I'm all right. As you can see, I got a mouthful of McDonald's right now. I had to get that food in me, bro. I hadn't eaten since like 2.
What's your meal? What'd you get? I see you got that large fry. He supersized that bitch.
I got a large fry. I got a large fry, 4-piece McNugget, 2 McChickens. Actually, not that much. A McChicken.
Wait. Oh, okay. Never mind. Go ahead.
McDouble, large Coke, and a large caramel coffee.
Caramel coffee. Bro, my addiction at McDonald's is the mocha frappes. Bro, I fuck with that shit.
They're so much better than fucking Starbucks and shit. The frappuccino.
So much
and
better.
They won't break your damn bank trying to get a damn. They'll be like Starbucks like $10 for a medium or a fucking venti or whatever the fuck it's called.
And it's fucking straightforward. I never know what the fuck to order when I'm at Starbucks. Everybody got these secrets. Can I get a double shot pump of this? And I feel like I'm so far out the loop that I can't like get in to the Starbucks wave now.
I used to have, so when I used to work in uptown Charlotte at my old job, I used to go to Starbucks almost every day and get whatever the medium is, or the venti, I think it was the venti, coffee, and I'd order it on the app. So the app has the ability to do like the pumps and all that shit.
Yeah.
Bro, I remember a while ago, one guy I was working with was like, yeah, he was like, hey, I'm going to go get some coffee. Anybody want anything? I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, let me tell you my order. And I fucking pull up my order on my phone. He's like, God damn, bro. You got so much damn shots in here. Like, you lucky your heart ain't going to explode. I'm like, dude, I just like the sugar. Like, I need that shit. I'm addicted to caffeine. But that shit would cost me $8. That was like $8 a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Now, I guarantee that shit's like $9.50. Guaranteed it's like $9.50.
Yeah, that shit a burrito bowl.
Yeah. The burrito bowls ain't even that. I had a burrito bowl yesterday. Bro, that shit was $14 motherfucking dollars. Well, I got carne asada. That shit's overpriced, not worth it. Dude,
it's not worth it, bro. Not worth it.
It's not worth it. Pollo asado is the best meat they've ever had. Pause. And I'm telling you, bro, I am a Chipotle savant. If you want to talk about Chipotle, I know everything you need to know. Trust, I know the hacks. I know everything you need to know. But aside from all that stuff, my week's been going all right. I've been okay. Could always be better. Could always be worse per usual. You know what I'm saying? But excited for the end of the month coming up. Super Bowl's getting closer and closer. The playoffs are looking really great. Really excited to talk about the
Depends on who you ask, but you know.
It's nice to not be a fan of a team during the playoffs. Genuinely, because you can watch it and just honest to God want good games. And I mean,
but that's not what we've been getting. But I mean, we're going to discuss it later. But that's definitely not what we've been getting.
I mean, it's been okay football. A couple of good games, but most of them been like lopsided. But yeah, I've been good, man. And Mike, obviously, I know you say you're gonna talk about your week. Obviously, we know how that went from Sunday on the MLK Day. Happy belated MLK Day. Shout out my man. Shout out the GOAT. Giving the people a day to breathe. And that being said, I'm gonna let Mike start it off.
Yep. No, I mean, we obviously going to get into my week later on in the show, so I'm just, you're not going to make me relive it twice in this show. Now, one thing one thing I will say, my mom texted me and told me I need to stand on business and sit with that L on this podcast. So for anyone who's thinking, this show's going to come out one day later than it usually does, everyone's probably already thinking I ran away from the episode. Nah. Mama Bynum texted me, so I got to stand on business. But first, before we get into any of that, 2024 is looking like it might turn the corner for music, and it's literally because of one guy. One guy, that's 21 Savage. He came with his album, It Was Awaited. We just did a reaction video on the trailer, the first single that dropped, All of Me, the lead-off single for the album. And let me tell you, from top to bottom, this is a fantastic project. I was very pleased with what I heard. And for him to come out in the first quarter, he's starting the charge. He's setting the tone. So, Sterling, what's your initial thoughts? We got Big 21 with his new album. What did you kind of think about it?
Yeah, so I hadn't had the opportunity. I have listened to the whole album, but I haven't had the opportunity to truly dissect it. I know there's a couple songs that I really enjoy, but I think overall, I'm excited. I don't know what song it is on here. There was a song that I was listening to earlier, and I heard it, and the way, when 21 came in after Lil Durk?
Oh, Dangerous? That song is crazy.
It might have been Dangerous. Lil Durk did his thing. He didn't do nothing crazy. He did his thing. He handled business. And then 21, the way it, dropped into his voice, bro, it was so perfect. And obviously it's Metro Boomin on the track, so you gotta expect absolute perfection at that point. But, dude, he's trying to get in his Drake bag. Not in the way that Drake always does. Not in the way Drake always does, but the way that, he's going to be seen, if that makes sense. Drake's got to do, the girl shit to get all the girls into it. Nah. 21 should have made an album called For All the Dolls. Because that nigga 21 said, I am a dog, bro. I'm from the UK. Y'all barely even knew that shit. But I'm going to talk about my American dream, how I made this shit. It ain't about, we ain't going to have to look at the kid from Stranger Things doing some weird shit with his hands. I'm a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? But I've genuinely enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to continue to listen to it more over the coming days and the coming weeks, I'm sure. Kind of like how it was with the Drake album. Excuse me, FYI, Drake's album will win Album of the Year. If it doesn't, it's going to be an atrocity. I don't fucking care what anybody says. I'm still listening to that shit to this day. And 21's going to be right behind him with this album right here. And I'm really happy that 21's kind of just the evolution of 21 Savage from, I can't remember that Red album he had, one of his debut album. Yeah, it was just Savage Mode. It's from that to this, he's evolved as a rapper. That is what you're seeing. He's the same, what I'm saying, he's in his Drake back. Drake evolved as a rapper. He figured out what his flow is in hip hop, can't be saying that. Mos Deaf might shoot me for that. But, I've enjoyed it, man. I loved it. Definitely, I think Dangerous, if I have to look at the track list, Dangerous. Me Not with Travis Scott was kind of a meh song, and y'all know how I feel about Travis. I absolutely love Travis Scott. And then Should Have Worn a Bonnet with Brent Faiyaz is gas. Bro, it's the fact that he's saying, "Whoa, you should have worn a bonnet," bro. This is how you know he's from the UK and shit. Some weird shit, bro. Man, I've enjoyed it, and I'm super excited to continue to keep listening to it day in and day out for the next coming weeks.
Yeah, no. So I have quite a few takeaways from this album, to be honest. One, first of all, just off the jump, it is refreshing to hear real boom bap music. These new guys are, they're stuck on these melodies, and it's cool and all. I like the melodies incorporated in rap. I do think it makes for some enjoyable sing-along content as far as music goes. But, this shit all stems from boom bap. So you got to get back to, the origins of how hip-hop is created. And I think 21 does this a great service in this album. And, one thing that, you talk about how you appreciate the evolution of 21. The craziest thing about him is he comes from the greatest freshman class of all time, which is no debate. 2016 is by far the greatest freshman class. You already know. But the wildest thing about that is when you think about it, as far as the big four from that class, which I would consider 21, Kodak, Uzi, and Yachty, the big four from that class. There's obviously other notable names like Anderson .Paak was in that class, Lil Dicky's in that class, maybe not notable for music per se, but a notable name. No pun intended. I guess that's a double entendre. But essentially, out of the big four in that class, I think he had the least likely path to mainstream dominance. And the reason why I say that is because 21 came out with some very rugged, gangster, boom bap rap. And, obviously it made everybody enjoyed it from like the core of what it stood for. And it sounded very, almost kind of nostalgic because people didn't make music like that anymore. But as far as a marketing perspective goes, he's the least likely out of that four to enter that mainstream dominance. Look at Lil Uzi. Lil Uzi's dancing. He's very, flamboyant, very feminine in his act. So obviously he's going to garnish a lot of attention. He's very easily marketable with the colorful hair that he was doing and all the weird antics that he does. Kodak is a certified hit maker. He just keeps a hit on him. Maybe he doesn't have those. On him. Yeah. And then Yachty, he's a very creative artist, but especially at the time when he was in that freshman class, he was the most successful to jump out the gate. Like, he was above Uzi when he first started. He went crazy. So he had the least likely path. And what 21 has done when you look at his discography is not miss, and he has made strategic steps each era in his career, linking up with some of the, greats to ever do it. And what I've noticed is that he's pulling from those collab experiences with those people, and he's taking it into what you said with Drake. There's so many songs on this album that sound like some shit Drake would have done, and 21 was like, oh shit, I can do that formula. So, See the Real, I don't know if you listen to that song. See the Real sounds like Nice for What. That literally sounds like a Drake beat. And 21, I guarantee you they were in the studio and they were chopping up to some beats, and 21 heard that one and it was a throwaway for Drake. And I guarantee you Drake was kind of like, or 21 was like, I'm going to make this one work. Letter to My Brother, that shit like sounds like some Drake. There's just a lot of Drake influence on this album where you could tell that pairing for him was monumental to what he's like, his mental aptitude of how he's going to construct these albums. But this is an amazing project. The lead-off single, All of Me, is crazy. His beat selection is insane. Dangerous, like you mentioned. I love that song. Fuck it, Drop Your Nuts. Like his
That is so fucking hard. Drop your nuts, bro. What you mean? Drop your nuts?
All his his very subtle hooks are just that's why I'm kind of surprised that you thought Nina was a dull one, because I thought the hook was pretty good.
The hook was good, but I have such high expectations when I see Travis on the song, dude. I just keep looking at this song like, this shit's gotta be a certified banger, like every time, like. And that
if your wife can get in the spot, she getting bust up.
Yeah, and also it goes to the account of the Kid Cudi song featuring Travis Scott that I had to listen to. That was a banger, but I see it as a banger. So like, it's kind of like construed a bit of my like thought process on how what to expect. But like, I agree with you 100%, man. Like, I think 21 has transcended what he was supposed to be, like, at this point. And this is like the thing is that now what else is there to have this year, right? Because we had talked Drake was talking about maybe retiring for a bit, or stepping away from music for a little bit. I mean, I don't want to hear nothing from Lil Uzi till he figures out how to fucking rap again. Except for Everybody's song or that song with Nicki Minaj. He kind of went off on that. That beat was perfect for him. But and then just Kodak, he needs to just get help. He needs to
Kodak does need help. Kodak does need help. But whenever you listen to that song I'm telling you about, he is sliding. I'm telling you, he's sliding. You go fuck with that track. Him and Doja went crazy on that track.
He's on like a Lil Wayne type thing because Wayne was on the was it the Lean or for a minute.
Yeah.
Like that. And and he was saying like that shit was not good. Like it's obviously he can look back and in retrospect and understand like maybe I shouldn't have done that, but still I had the successes that I did have because I'm Wayne and I did what I did. But now, like you look for the rest of the year, you got Nicki Minaj at the end of last year, right? Or was it at the beginning of this year? Either or, regardless. Yeah, at the end of last year, you got Drake towards the end of last year in the fourth quarter. You got Travis's right going into at the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter. You have Thug, everybody, bro. By the way, the Thugger song I did like on that album a lot too. I can't remember the name right now if I'm not looking at it.
Pop your shit.
Yeah, but Free Young Thug, by the way. That nigga ain't never getting out though. But like, what can we expect at this point? Because in my opinion. And some people may be like, I'm fucking crazy. Like, what's wrong with it? Why would you say that so, like, pessimistic? I don't think we're going to be seeing any new artists this year. Like, new artists. Like, where it's like, oh, shit. Like, when Jack Harlow came on the scene with, like, what's popping.
Like a break onto the scene, like, type of new artist.
I think it's going to be the old heads. I ain't calling them old heads saying they're old, but just saying the people that we know and love, respect already are going to have to step up. And if they don't, we could have another, like, granted, 2023 ended off phenomenally, I think. Like, it had its really bright spots and then ended off phenomenally. It was poor up to, probably the last 5 months, in my opinion, right? But, fuck Meg Thee Stallion for putting Tory Lanez in jail, because that shit, like, I love Tory Lanez, bro. Like, what the fuck are we doing? So, and now Don Toliver's having a baby with Kai. Like, who the fuck is going to come out, bro? There's nothing we can do. Like, there's nothing that we can do as a music community, as people who just enjoy good music. Not saying it's got to be hip-hop, but we do listen to a ton of hip-hop or pop, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what to expect, and that's what scares me. I'm excited. I'm glad that 21 did his thing. But we know with some of these bigger artists, they have a tendency to wait long periods of time before they drop again. Like, that is a known fact. They'll drop singles all the fucking time. Yeah. Albums are like the fucking... That's the putty, bro. That's the putty that keeps the shit on the wall. That's the shit that keeps it together. You could throw up a picture frame with some tape. Right? The tape is the fucking... is the singles. But I need that fucking good putty, bro, to fucking fill in that hole. That shit easy and sticks there. People may not get it. It's a drywall reference. Shout out Dad for telling me, understanding how construction works. But no, I don't know. I don't know what you think, and that's just my opinion, personally.
I'm right there. I'm honestly right there with you. And for anyone who is planning, and you're in the planning stages, or maybe you're finishing and putting the finishing touches on your album and you're planning on dropping this year, I have some words for you, my friend. We just got, for the females who are going to put out some rap songs, the queen of this shit, the woman that runs this whole shit and is the reason why all of y'all are getting placed in here like some puppets, because Nicki Minaj is so successful that everyone wants their own version of Nicki. She just dropped her album and she went crazy on her album. I thought it was a good album for Nicki. And she set the tone for what all y'all finna do. So y'all can't just come over here and bend over and shake your ass. If you hadn't noticed, in all of Nicki Minaj's concerts, she ain't doing no dancing anymore. She ain't dancing, she ain't rapping, she ain't doing shit. She literally just showing up on stage, getting paid because the music is that damn good. So if y'all think y'all finna bend over and shake your ass and get that same kind of reward, that's not happening this year. Nicki set the tone. The beginning albums dropped set the tone for the year. Now we got the guys. I'm talking to you. 21 just set the tone. This was a cohesive album from the beat selection to the lyrics to the presentation to the rollout with the whole show that's apparently supposed to go out, the trailer. You can tell he put thought into it. He is setting the tone. Y'all can't come with these lackluster albums that we're getting that, you know, we might listen to for the first 2 weeks and that's just done. And now we're waiting. Now we're sitting here twiddling our thumbs, having to be like, oh shit, is Kanye's Vultures dropping this week or is it going to get pushed back another 2 weeks again? No. We need real fucking music.
Well, and the thing is like, people are like, oh, we need Cardi. I love to hear Cardi on like a cohesive album, but I have no faith in this man to put together a cohesive album. He will have bangers. Absolute bangers. I guarantee some bangers. But cohesiveness is a different thing. And like, there's a certain type of mood you got to be in to listen to Cardi, bro. Like, you can't just be chilling, like, listen to Cardi. Like, I'm like sitting there like,
I'll fuck with that shit heavy, to be honest though.
I mean, if I was like moking or like doing whatever, like if I was like that type of vibe, like it'd be different. But like if I'm just like chilling, like making dinner, for example, like typically if I'm making dinner, I'll put in my AirPods, I'll put on like an album or I'll put in like a mix of music so I can just like kind of zone in on that while I'm focusing on that for the 30, 45 minutes or so, however long it's taking me to put together my whatever I'm making. And then I go, you know, and then I get off of it and I watch something when I start eating. But I just don't know, like, what's going to come of this year because of this. Like, it's sad to say because ideally I should be extremely optimistic, right? Because we got such a good start to the year. Being 21 in January, like getting a January album is sick. Because most of the time, you know, artists are like, oh, spring's about to come, we gotta wait till it gets warm, then the summer comes, that's when you get them singles start hitting like crazy.
Well, it sounds like a January album too.
No, it does, 100%. It's not like we outside type shit, and definitely not outside out here in North Carolina, bro. It's fucking motherfucking sub 20 out here. This ain't Kansas City, bro. I'm not fucking with this. But we'll see. I think that I know that obviously, you know, Cudi dropped, and I made a mention of like Cudi's album to you prior to the pod, and then even just mentioned one song with him and Travis. But I mean, I like Cudi's album from what I've heard of it. He's got a couple good features up there. But I'm gonna tell you right now, like, it's a good album, like it's a solid album. It's not great. It's not something like, oh shit, like, hey bro, like you gotta listen to this whole album, bro. Like you're gonna go crazy. Like I shoot myself before I do that. Oh, let me not say that. Cut that out. But that being said, I'm not gonna get any more Travis probably for the rest of the year. This nigga's gonna be on some trash ass features for the rest of the year, which is depressing as fuck. Drake's probably just sitting here fucking drinking fucking whatever the hell that drink is called, the orange Bagoopa or whatever, Bagoopa, I don't know. Sit there fucking doing streams on Rumble and shit with his damn cat. Like, you already knew Drake was the type of cat nigga. Like, he ain't no dog nigga for real. But, yeah, man, I'm just rambling. But I'm excited. We'll see where the rest of the year goes. I will say, man, if we get another lackluster start to this year, I don't think it's going to get much better. That's what I say. Like, you have 2 months to ride, like a month and a half to ride 21's album, because that means that you had dropped a good album. Because I feel like that's what Drake's album did.
I mean, and we still haven't gotten the show from this album, too, so that could add some time. Like, we might not even be hitting the peak of, like, the songs that are going to be in rotation yet, because the presentation within the show could, you know, really spark up some more interest in the album.
Factual. I concur. So, I mean, I'm excited. I know, Mike, you're excited to see what happens. I mean, love seeing good music. But speaking of music, we got when we talk about hip hop, we talk about a man by the name Mos Deaf. If you guys don't know Mos Deaf, he's a standard in the hip hop game. He just mentioned something recently about that shit was actually funny as fuck the way he did that shit. Mos Def says that Drake, the beloved, the GOAT, like the hip hop GOAT or the rap GOAT, I don't know what you want to fucking call it, the GOAT in this instance. Mos Def says Drake makes shopping music, not hip hop. So to break it down for you guys a little bit, Mos Def is basically saying about Drake, like, he doesn't have like Mike had mentioned, what's that phrase you were saying, like what makes hip hop, that type of boom clap or like
the boom bap.
Boom bap. Like he doesn't have that. He says he makes like shopping music. It's like if I walk into whatever store it was, I can't remember the store he mentioned, but he said I walk into the store and then I hear like what's any song. It could be
Nice for What or something like that.
Yeah, Nice for What, like Hotline Bling, like these types. I mean, granted, Hotline Bling is definitely a pop song. It should be considered pop, 100%.
Passion Fruit.
But yeah, Passion Fruit. That's an R&B pop song.
That would definitely get me looking at the colognes and shit like that. I'll be like, oh, they got the what's this, mahogany woods? That smells good.
But Mos Def is basically just saying that guys like Drake and that make music like Drake aren't hip hop. They're pop. They don't need to be proclaiming that they're hip hop artists. That's not their lane. Basically, stay in your lane type shit. For me, hearing this on the front end, because when Mike put in the doc and we talked about it a little bit pre-pod, and I was like, oh shit, I remember seeing this like kind of this clip of this. He's like, I mean, he's obviously a little pissed off that people are, saying that this man is actually hip hop. But then, like, I think he might be a little bit blind to the fact. Excuse me, this coffee got me fucked up. But he might be blind to the fact that nowadays, in this day and age in the music game, where if you want to make money and make consistent like music and be able to go along with the trends, you have to be versatile as well. Like, you could stay in your lane, like if you're a hip hop person, but you gotta be able to get out of that lane too to get those pop hits where you're gonna get everyone involved too to make as much money as you possibly can. Because the way I'm seeing it is he's kind of saying like these people don't care about the love of the game; they care about the money, which is like, who the fuck cares? Like, that's what we're here for. Like, I didn't come out the mud, and I ain't trying to get in the mud. So like, that's how I felt about it. And I think he's right to say some of the things that Drake sings is definitely shopping music. Because I've definitely sat there in fucking stores and heard Hotline Bling, Passion Fruit. Those are the two songs I've definitely heard for a fact. Nice for What, I've heard that song too in the store. Like, he's not wrong. But like, it's you have to be versatile if you're going to be in this game nowadays. You just cannot be that one fucking sound person.
I think what he's kind of missing in his argument is, for one, when he came up, so I think I kind of took it he's talking more sonically. Like, the hip-hop that he was making when he was coming up had a very rugged storytelling, more boom bap in the sense of a 21 type sound over a beat, you're rapping and whatnot. So I think I took it as to where he was saying that Drake is more tailored to pop sounds, where the disconnect really kind of comes in for me is that he's kind of missing the fact that hip hop is pop today. Pop, it stands for popular music. Hip hop is the most popular genre in the country. So hip hop is pop. And because it is pop now and it is the biggest genre, it needs to touch every individual like pop would. So it's got to be more. I heard that. Okay. But it's got to be more digestible to a larger crowd of people, and the only way to do that is to kind of, fluff it up a bit. And that's where Drake's at. Drake he's a brand. Drake, honestly, Drake, Taylor Swift, Bad Bunny, these people are holding the music industry on their back. Their sales is where all you other artists are getting your budget from. You're getting your budget because Drake just dropped For All the Dogs, or Taylor just dropped 1989 Taylor's version. That's where your budget came from all the sales that, these niggas are doing. We didn't just pull $5 million to sign your advance because we got $5 million. It's not. It's because real niggas actually making real good music out here. And so now we got $5 million to spend on you and your little small ass fan base. So, so that's essentially what's going on. And I think that's what he's missing. But I also I don't think it's warranted because Drake came up from rap. Like, that's what he did. And, he's always had the R&B sound and some of the pop sound. But I don't care who you put in front of this man. He can boom bap with anybody in the game right now. You do not want to see Drake. I'm just being honest.
He is the wrong nigga to be fucking with. I'm like, in all facets of life, period, bro. He's the wrong nigga to be fucking with. If you want to fuck with him on a personal level, he'll kill you. If you going to fuck with him on a music level, he's going to kill you lyrically. And then if you want to fuck with him on a completely just off topic level, he's going to fuck you up. Because this man is at the top of his game. And he does, the thing is, man, I think people forget at how important it is for someone like Drake to take some hiatus, because it creates tension. It creates anticipation. Anticipation is like the reason why so many people do so many things just because they're waiting on something else. I mean, that might not sound super clean the way that came out, but if you get it, you get it. And I think that looking at it is like, I agree with you. Like, he is missing the point that pop is what's popular and hip hop is popular. And it just goes along with the trends. And I always have to get my little bit about social media and whatnot in the way, because on social media, that is where you get a lot of, I mean, I'm not saying that girls are the only ones that get their music from social media, because that's not true. But a lot of girls that I know don't know songs that are in the hip hop game unless they're on social media. Like, and that's just what it is. It can be their favorite art. It could be Drake, and they still wouldn't have known it, So I think that there's I don't know. There's maybe just, like you said, a misconception, and Mos Deaf is just speaking from an old head mindset too.
Basically.
You know how old heads are, right? It's like, for example, my dad hangs out with Vietnam vets. These guys are in their 70s. Super great guys. Love them all. They're amazing individuals. Genuinely amazing individuals. Some things, like, I'll go into, we'll talk, black men, for the people that don't know, black men, when they talk at a certain age, like, I'm 26 now. Like, I'm adult enough. I've done enough adult things. I handle my business. I pay my bills. I do all that other stuff. Now they got a respect for me, right? They got a respect for me, just like I'm sure you and your dad have now, or any other older black gentleman would.
Yeah.
And you guys have these kind of banter, and like, I do things differently than they would back in the 1970s, right? Like, whether it comes to females, whether it comes to money, whether it comes to jobs, etc., so on and so forth. And that's where, like, you got to realize is that we are all changing. We're ever evolving. Like, back then, things moved slower. Everything moved slower because information didn't travel as fast. Information is instantaneous nowadays. Instantaneous. I can literally take a video of Michael or anybody else doing something completely absurd and completely out of pocket, and that shit would travel like fucking wildfire. Like that. I just posted. And that's what it's the crazy thing is, man, I'm super, like, I'm upset because there's a lot of guys like Mos Deaf out there because they can't do what Drake's doing right now. Just let's just put it that way. I'm gonna be 100% honest. They can't do it, and I'm not sitting here trying to defend Drake, but I'm seeing both sides of the playing field. I understand where Mos Deaf is coming from.
Well, I'll defend him. I'll defend him.
Yeah.
Like, if I was Drake and they want to say I'm not hip hop, I'd be like, you're right. I'm bigger than that shit, nigga. I'm bigger than hip hop. I'm bigger than your cute little culture, little shit y'all created, my nigga. I surpassed that. That's what I would tell him. I'm like, bro, I ain't making no, nah, that shit was cute, nigga. And you know what your boom bap got you? It got you to the heights that you got to. And I transcended that shit. So now I make boom bap, I make R&B, I make pop, I make Latin music, I make UK music, I make anything that anybody's willing to fucking listen to because I'm that nigga and I'm gonna get whatever bags out there ready to be taken. So like, I don't understand. Like they say it like it's an insult. I'll be like, thank you.
The heights that he reached are the Empire State, but this nigga Drake said I'm at the top of Mount Everest, bitch. Like I'm in space, motherfucker. Like you forgot where I am. I mean, and you're right. I mean, that's the honest truth. There is nothing at this point. Like, and we've said it before. I think we both agreed on this. That there's nothing at this point that Drake could do that he's gonna fail at. He can literally pop out anything he wants, and this shit's gonna fucking go crazy. It's like a fucking hypnotist, bro. Like he literally has us in a chokehold. Like, nigga, you ain't gonna listen to this shit? I bet you will. You gonna see that shit on TikTok, Instagram. You gonna hear it in the store. You gonna see your boys gonna talk about it. You gonna say, I put you on.
Yeah, that girl you've been texting, as soon as she hops in the car, she'll be like, can you play this new Drake?
Yeah, exactly, bro. Unless it's some fucking SoundCloud shit, I'm gonna be asking, who the fuck showed you that shit? That's where I'm seeing it. And, like, look. Like I said, like I'm sure, you and I are like, if we're fortunate enough to, have children and live a long enough life, we're gonna see grandkids and et cetera, so on and so forth. Like, we're gonna have our own ways of doing things, right? Like that we would have done in our time and, at that whatever age it was. And they're probably gonna do things a little bit different, maybe similar, but it's still gonna be a little bit different because it's different times and, things change. And as, like I mentioned, as technology evolves, things will speed up even more. Everything will speed up. Music, careers, knowledge, people's minds. Everything is going to speed up, and I'm at the point now as a young individual realizing this when I look at music that it's to be expected. And that's something that's like it's cool to see. At the same time, I would love for it not to change super fast because I do kind of like it where it is sometimes. But, you gotta roll with the punches however they come. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, essentially, Mos Deaf, we understand, and I get where he's coming from. Like, I don't want to sound like the young nigga that don't, like, respect his elders. I get where he's coming from, and I know the sound that he's, like, hoping to hear from the biggest in the game because in some capacity I do feel that way. I just not towards Drake, but I do feel that way towards a lot of the rappers. Not towards Drake. I don't feel like it's warranted towards Drake. I feel like even if Drake's not giving us that boom bap as often as he has, he's certified. He's already given us that. He don't owe us any more. Whatever's already out there to be listened to on DSPs, guess what? That's a Hall of Fame career in itself. He don't need to add any more, put it on top of that. But there's other people that he can come at, like these young niggas that be making poppy rap songs and haven't put their dues in. There's people out here who have not put their dues into this hip hop shit and they're moving around like they really run it. And that's not the case. But when it comes towards Drake, man, you already know After Dark gonna have to get on your ass, bro. Come on, bro. We can't be doing that shit. What you talking about?
Hey, come on the pod, bro. We need you. And don't hit the bands while you're at it.
Yeah. Give us that cosign real quick.
Yeah. Appreciate that, bro. I look, hey, whatever you need, my guy. You can fly us to the Bebelos, back to the Vava, all that good shit. You can show us that shit, cause like. We're 1% guys. We're working towards being full on 1% guys. Speaking of beef, though, not change the subject, but move into a different direction. Our second favorite thing to talk about, or our first, depending on what time of year it is, or depending on what's going on, sports. Our man Stephen A. We know, Stephen, if you know anything about sports commentaries at all whatsoever, if you're not living under a rock, you know who Stephen A. Smith is. Stephen A. Smith apparently is in a beef or had a little bit of beef with Jason Whitlock, basically over how Stephen A. was talking about he would better score a certain amount of points in a game, in the NBA game, and Jason Whitlock went back and found that when he played his one game and at, what is it, whatever fucking college he's at, Central? I can't remember. But he averaged 1.5 points in one game. And then Michael and I had talked about this prior to the pod. How the fuck you average 1.5 points in one game? And I said it's just a credit. It's like 1.5 points for or 1.5 times pay, for overtime. Like he probably got overtime. He probably played an overtime game.
That 0.5 is for half the leg after that knee gave out.
Fact, dude. Shout out to all the guys out there that play basketball and knees just gone, bro. Knees fucking gone. One of our good family friends. Shout out Mr. Bird. You know who you are. Both his knees fucked up, bro. He about 50 something. Fucked up. He probably be about 2 inches taller if he didn't fucking. And I'm joking, bro. But aside from the point, Jason Whitlock coming at Stephen A. Smith about this, and obviously, I don't have too much of an opinion on it. I know you were a little bit deeper on this than I was, but from I guess a baseline, it's kind of like, who was it? Skip Bayless that one time was saying he could rush for like a yard or something like in the NFL, yeah. And it's like, Skip, motherfucker, like. Hey, bro. Like, Skip, your small ass get out there.
Hey, Skip cut up, though. For an old ass nigga.
But he's old as fuck. Like, you get out there, them big ass niggas gonna hit your ass, bro. They already thinking Loki kind of racist.
All that shit he been talking to.
they might start.
They be licking their lips trying to get at that nigga, bro.
Now you lucky Micah Parsons is kind of on your side, Skip, because he might kill your ass. Oh, yeah. And then again, if you saw the video that you posted the other night, I don't know if you saw that, Mike. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
You didn't see Skip's video with the Cowboys? We'll talk about the beef here in a second, but when you get a chance, and if I can find it, sometime during or even after, I'll send it to you. He just starts throwing away all his Cowboy shit in the trash. All of it. Had the hat on, fucking. But that being said, I can't remember how many points or whatever it was that Stephen A. said that he could score or whatever, in the NBA at this point. But Jason Whitlock basically just said, bullshit, you can't even score 2 points in a fucking college game. Like, they're not wrong, but if you have enough tries, right, I think most people could do it if you have any athletic ability whatsoever. And obviously, we wouldn't say Stephen A. in his current. We would say maybe in his physical prime before his knees blew out. I can't remember the amount. I think it's 10 points, 5 points, 8 points, score a point, something like that. I can't remember, but.
So really so Jason Whitlock has been talking shit to Stephen A. for a hot minute now, right? And it's kind of like the tipping pot. But Whitlock has been, mentioning Stephen A. on his show. He's been calling him out. He's been talking to a lot of shit. And finally Stephen A. had enough. And when I tell you it was the funniest thing ever when Stephen A. announced that he's about to, fucking just let Jason have it, is absolutely just so out of character for Stephen A. that it just kind of like, I don't even know, how to digest it at all, because he dropped the video and Stephen A., he's cursing in this video, and you can tell that he has just been like so media trained his whole life that he don't even know how to curse no more. He was like, you fat bitch, bastard. I was like, Stephen A, what you doing? He said he called his pastor, his sisters. He told everybody that he knew his bosses. He said, look, I'm about to go in on this fat nigga tonight. I'm just letting you know right now that, I don't want nobody texting me, are you good? Hey, chill out. No. I'm telling you up front, I'm going in on this fat nigga. And so I was here for it. Because honestly, it's fuck Whitlock. It's always been fuck Whitlock. Uncle Tom ass nigga. We don't need him out here. He's never given... He's just always kind of slighting successful black
other
men
niggas,
out here. Yeah.
Other niggas, bro. Always hating on other niggas.
Always hating on other successful black niggas out here, just trying to make an honest work, trying to make a legacy, and he's over here, just coming at him in a Uncle Ruckus type way, and it's just uncalled for. We're all one community. We're all trying to do something, and even like from a perspective of us as black people, right? I don't like that, we're kind of arguing on television. It's always us that kind of go back and forth on television. But at the end of the day, Whitlock need to be put in his place. And I'm here for Stephen A. Him getting his own show on YouTube is amazing because now this allows for us to see a less PC version of Stephen A., which could, garnish more respect. Everybody's got respect for Stephen A., but, some people look at Stephen A. like an Uncle Tom dude. I don't. I don't think he's one of them.
Oh, nah. I don't. And if you do, bro, you need to look at the tape. Like you need to look at the tape because by the way, he's a certified nigga, bro. Certified.
He's certified. So, I'm glad that he has this platform now where he can kind of go off script because I think it's important. Especially if you're a media head, if you're some kind of public figure, I think, having these platforms and having like a podcast like we do, we're able to share our thoughts, even though we don't really come in here and, discuss our lives per se. It's not personal, but we're giving opinions and we go off script and we relate it to real life things sometimes, or sometimes we just really just be shitting on y'all niggas. But like other times we get in here, we really discuss things. And I think it's important for him to have that platform so he's able to do that. I thought it was really cool that he was able to have that response to Whitlock. If Whitlock comes back, I think he might have did. I'm not keeping up with it. All I care about is what Stephen A. had to say. I don't care what Jason has to say. But I think it's a great thing.
You still get shit on every time, bro. It's like Drake. Stephen A. is Drake, and Jason Whitlock is fucking like Lil Peep. Like,
he's like Mario Judah.
Yeah, this ain't even a fair fight, bro. Like, you're gonna lose on all fucking accounts. But I agree with you. I've always said, like, but the funny thing is like I like back in the day, if you look back, like, because for those who don't know, like Mike and then Chad and I became really, really good friends by just over a summer of playing pool every day, just shooting the shit every day, talking, being young dudes about to go to college. Like, that's, like, if we want to talk about, like, yes, we had high school and you build on top of that and hang out enough and you do that, but that's around a bunch of other kids who just so happen not to be black. And that's what you expected of us. Yeah, that's the truth. But... And then you come about, and my dad has even mentioned this to me before. I think you and I have talked about this before. But as like young black men, he's like, dude, like having like two like black friends, like good friends, like great friends that you have, being of the same color, of a similar background to you, like in terms of like, not necessarily demographic is the wrong word, of terms of like economic like situations and all those types of things. Like, that similarity and then also being to actually relate to one another on a very direct level is real. So if you're going to bash another brother in the game just because you're not at that point, my boy, like, then you're just losing. You look like the fool because I'm looking at just an article now, he called it intellectually limited. He called Stephen A. intellectually limited. you're talking to one of the, in my opinion, one of the smartest individuals I think just in terms of like articulating what he has to say.
By far.
By far. On any television platform.
On any television, any platform, he is up there for sure, and he has been the pinnacle of it, and he is leading vocabulary for all other journalists. If you notice, all other sports journalists pull from his vocabulary all the time. I've never, not ever, once used blasphemy until Stephen A. was hopping up there on his show and saying it left and right, and now every nigga got blasphemy in their vocabulary. I guarantee you most of these niggas did not have that in their vocabulary.
And it's in the Bible, bro. That's the fact. That's the easiest one. And the thing is like, you're right with him having his own show. And he's had it for a little while now, but it is cool because I see clips from him because I follow Stephen A. on Instagram, so I'll see his clips and I'll see stuff like, you know, him talking about like whatever it is. Like, it's not just like obviously this situation where he's clapping back at Jason Whitlock, but he's talking about like women. He's talking about all types of other stuff that isn't always related directly to sports, and it allows for people to actually get to know him as a person rather than just the media head that he is, like the fucking upper echelon of media, of sports media at least, and allow himself to be more personable. Not to say he's not personable, because I think that's one of the reasons why he is so popular now, or not now, but has been so popular and successful in his career, is because he's personable and he's relatable. He doesn't make shit like, yes, he uses big words and words that you may not even know the fucking meaning to. You be having to have to pull out Google Translate and shit, be like, oh shit, what the fuck is that? Like,
yeah,
that's someone like, you know, they say you're a product of the 5 people you hang around the most. If you're hanging around Stephen A. on the majority of your time and he's one of your 5 people, you bet your odds are highly in favor to be successful, smarter, more well-rounded in that sense.
And his clapback got 1 million views in 24 hours. Sit your fat ass down. You got chewed out, and 1 million niggas saw that in the same day.
Yeah, you are fat, bro, Jason Whitlock. I mean, look, man. I know you're 56 years old. Yeah, I looked up your age just now to make sure I was on the money. Look, my dad, respectfully, I built like my dad at a young age. Splendor, don't put on a ton of weight, nothing crazy like that. My dad is 63 years old now. My dad just started putting on weight probably 4 years ago. If you can't keep yourself up and all you do is talk on TV and YouTube, motherfucker, get your fat ass in the gym. Get on the damn treadmill. I know damn well, I got all this other stuff going on, got stress. I don't give a fuck. It's I'm gonna tell you guys this now. I might get canceled for this, and I'll take that risk. I've been phenomenally blessed to have had a high metabolism the entirety of my current life, like my life now, and it will decrease as I get older. Right? I know that 1,000%. But I'm gonna promise your ass, especially if I'm on television, I am not letting myself fucking go just because I'm busy. The fuck? Like. And that goes for anyone right now. If you're on your weight loss journey, I respect it, man. Keep grinding, keep doing your thing, maintain. If you're not on a weight loss journey, you're trying to maintain where you're at, fucking get it. If you're trying to gain weight or put muscle on, keep doing it. It's not easy regardless of what level or stage you are at. That ass Jason Whitlock, you're fucking with the wrong receding hairline ass nigga, bro. That nigga's hairline is the back of his skull. You know he got plenty of money to fucking get a whole ass thing like LeBron. But guess what? That is his personality. That is who he is. You lost, motherfucker. You will continue to lose. Do not clap back at him. If you have, you're going to get fucking put in the dirt, bro. You might lose every ounce of dignity you have. I don't even know if you got wife and kids. Because if you got wife and kids, your kids might start getting dogged. Like, his kid, if you got a son, his boy is going to see this shit like, damn, your dad a fat ass for real. And he got his dog back on television. Like, I blame this shit. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, Mr. Whitlock, bro, he's getting fucking handled. I put with Mr. Whitlock and said, hey, Mr. Whitlock, how you feeling after that fucking pummeling from Stephen A? All he can do is jump on you, lay on you like fucking Patrick or something. The fuck? Dumbass nigga. I hate that. I 100% agree with. That's what I said. I hate when fucking when brothers hate on each other and their successes, bro. That's the one thing. That's why Shannon Sharp and Stephen.
We're the only ones that do it.
Yeah, it's because they won't do it to each other. That's why I respect the both of them. They won't do it to each other. They'll talk their shit. They'll banter. They'll do what needs to be entertaining while also having a productive conversation. But they ain't gonna shit on each other, bro. They gonna respect it. They gonna stand on their business. They gonna make sure they ain't getting disrespected. And that's just keep it moving, bro. Just shut the fuck up. Keep it moving. If you had a problem with that, talk with me off camera. Don't go public talking about some bullshit.
Yeah, but on the same foot though. If there's any podcasters that start, yapping their mouth about this platform, we shoot them. We come shoot, and you don't want that smoke neither. So, I mean, if anyone back there is trying to go behind the scenes and, collaborate and make a fake, shoot to get the views up too, we'll do that too. We all about the content, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let us know what you want to see. What you want to see next. But yeah, man, I'm a big proponent of I'm not I definitely be hating on some shit. I think it's a normal thing here and there on just regular ass shit.
Oh, I'm a hater.
But I am a hater. I
love being a hater.
But I don't be shitting on people's successes unless I just don't think they deserve it. Especially if I already know them or I feel like I know them. I'm like, nah, that nigga didn't deserve that shit. The fuck, or that girl didn't deserve that, or that guy didn't deserve whatever it is. But speaking of successes and failures, what you guys have all been waiting for. The best time of the pod. I hope you guys stuck around to the end. If you haven't stuck around to the end, or you popping in, skipping around on YouTube, or whatever platform you're on, here we go. Let's do a recap of this past weekend and Monday of the NFL Wildcard weekend. One of the most greatest weekends I've ever been involved in. I take some of dirt in it, bro.
Sterling. Quit all this. Allow me to stand on business like my mom told me to. I'm going to stand on fucking business, all right? We're going to skip all this little nonsense, and we're going to start right off what all y'all want to hear about, all right? God damn it. You want to hear about the Cowboys, Green Bay Packers recap, and you want to hear about me going there, my first home Cowboys game, and we just did murder from an absolute kickoff. Well, goddamn it, here it is. I was late to my seat. I was worried. I was like, we can't miss this. We come out the gate hot. I was like, we got to get to our seat. We come out the gate hot. I'm telling you, when I sat down and Jordan Love, and no, here's the craziest thing. I'm racing trying to find my seat because the stadium is so big and it's so confusing. There's mazes. So, if you want to get to one end of the stadium, you got to go up a couple levels, then go down, then go all the way to the side, and back up, then back down. It's mad confusing. My brother, my partner in this after dark bullshit, hits me and says, Jordan Love, low-key, probably about to go crazy tonight. I didn't even respond to this.
I'm telling you what I said, verbatim. I said, bro, this is me talking about the Cuddy album and the 21 album. I said, I'm going to let you lock in, but J Love might do it to him today. LOL. And he replied, said, LOL, you a hoe, with the crying face. No. It's after Sunday.
But here's what they need to know. When he texted me that, I was racing to try to get to my seat, and he texted me and I read it. And I didn't respond initially because that got me fired up. I was like, hey, we got to find our seat. We about to fuck these niggas up. I'm about to come in here Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever we film, and I'm about to let everyone have it on my first home game ever. We finally get to our seats. Jordan Love gets the ball. This nigga slice and dice all the way down the field, get a touchdown. I text him back. I said, LOL, you a hoe. I was like, because if y'all remember, I did say that I know exactly how a Cowboys game's going to go by the first two possessions. And if y'all remember, although I said this wasn't going to happen, because I thought Cowboys were going to do a 40-burger. I had already planned what I was going to do around the stadium in the third quarter when the game was out of hand. So I definitely didn't think it was going to happen. But I did say, if Green Bay goes down there and scores, and then we get the ball and do some dumbass shit, like go 3 and out or don't make no noise on that first drive and Green Bay has another good drive, I told you that game was over. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened. And unfortunately, times 2 is I did not know that Green Bay was going to proceed to go 27-0 to start that game. Dak looked scared. CeeDee couldn't catch shit. Micah Parsons, my buddy, you might need to end that podcast because he's been talking hella shit, and I'm a Micah guy. And usually when he talks it, he backs it up. But you can't be on the podcast talking shit, replying to other players, and they look like this on that fucking game. That game was absolutely terrible. It was probably the worst game watching experience I've ever had. Like I couldn't fathom what was going on. It did not feel real, and it was so bittersweet. It was my first time in the Dallas Cowboys stadium. So I'm like, this is the coolest shit and the worst shit at the same time. But shout out Jordan Love. He's the truth. Green Bay, you got the next one. He's definitely the guy. It just sucks, man. And we just got the news Mike McCarthy's coming back. We're not firing him. So I don't know how to feel, man. I don't know how to feel.
Should have went and got Big Bill, bro. Maybe that defense would have held up. I think it's ironic, right? Because, and this is where I got to shit on Mike for just a second, bro. I don't want to shit on him too bad because he's already had to endure a little bit from other people as well. But this is my direct. They ain't even had to talk to you on the phone. Like they didn't just text and Snapchat and whatever. I'm about to tell her how it is on pod, on live type shit. So I'm sitting there personally, and I always remember what you say about Cowboys games because he's had that same notion for as long as we've talked about Cowboys football, basically. Especially over the past couple of years, and them becoming better and work towards being this like dominant team that they've somewhat become. And I watched, and the badass thing that they did, bro, because the Dallas Cowboys are undefeated. I think they're undefeated when they score first. Score first period. I think. Yeah. Undefeated there's like a streak going on for that too. The fucking Green Bay Packers win the coin toss, and usually, for those that aren't huge football fans, if you win the coin toss, you typically defer because you want to get the ball in the second half so you can get off to a hot start in the second half, pending if you're down or you're up, or like it gives you some flexibility at the end of the first half if you have the ball or don't have the ball. They said, "Nah, fuck that, bro. Fuck that. We receiving this shit." Mike was right. J Love comes up. And this dude is having Heisman. This kid is throwing off his back foot every throw. He looked like Patty Mahomes in his prime. Aaron Jones, unstoppable. Aaron Jones averages 110 or 115 yards a game against the Cowboys. A game. He dominates the Cowboys. Aaron Jones finished the game with, I think 118 rushing yards. Shout out Aaron Jones. I'm not rooting for the Packers. I don't give a fuck about the Packers. I hope they beat the 49ers. Fuck the 49ers, bro. Fuck Christian McCaffrey. I fucking don't like you, bro. And I hope that the Monstars get absolutely fucking shit on in San Francisco too. Because they do. If the Packers somehow make it to the NFC Championship, that's a win for them. That's a massive win. They already won. Their season's over, bro. Their season's been over. So I want to talk about that. And then the other point is, I ain't going to sit here and lie. I was watching the game, and Micah Parsons is known to not have getting holding calls and all that stuff, but he's still a dominant beast, and he's still, a freak of nature. And his ability to get in the backfield. I ain't going to lie to you. The first quarter, he wasn't getting held at all. I'm watching this shit strategic. Like, they're not even holding him. They're not even doubling his ass, bro. Whoever the right tackle is for the Green Bay Packers, because, Micah mixes up and goes in the middle. Sometimes he switches sides. But specifically, he's on the right side of offensively, if you're looking at him, he's been on the left side on the defensive side. He was getting locked up. he was getting locked the fuck up. Like, locked the fuck down. Couldn't stop the run. He's not known to be a good run defender. And then couldn't get that boy J Love because J Love said, "Fuck it, bro. I'm A Rodgers, bro. I'm going to the Hall of Fame too." Remember, the Packers, the past two starting quarterbacks for the Packers that started for a season are Hall of Famers.
Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
And now you got another one, and he's a brother in Green Bay. I always respect the brother doing well. I ain't gonna hate on you. I know Mike's gonna have some hard feelings about it. But good thing for Mike. The good thing is, I thought it was hilarious that you called a 40 bomb. They almost dropped 50 on them motherfuckers.
Well, we almost got the 40 bomb.
Yeah, you almost got the 40 bomb with the L after they're like, fuck it, we just don't want to get it. They're just letting them go down the field.
Yeah, basically.
Dak couldn't throw straight. I thought he was the best quarterback in the NFL at this point. I mean, maybe I'm just some like crazy or something. And then the Green Bay Packers and all teams, because both Mike and I predicted that the Cowboys would win. I just said the Cowboys win. He said a 40 bomb. And then let's drop down to your division rivals who also caught an L and got fucking mollywopped by Baker motherfucking Mayfield, which is pathetic, I think. And I called the Eagles winning 27-23 in Tampa Bay. They got fucking mollywopped 33-14, something like that. And then you called the Bucs winning by 3, 2017, but they still won anyway, so you got that right. Right? I want to talk about specifically Nick Sirianni and the Eagles.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on, bro? Like, ask yourself, as an Eagle, I'm not an Eagles fan, but if I'm a Philly fan and I'm sitting here as a Philadelphia Eagles, I am excited because, like, holy shit, the Cowboys lost. Like, this is our time. Like, we don't have to play them again. Like, we would have to play them at home. Oh shit, like all these other things. Because obviously people are thinking it's either going to be Cowboys, 49ers, Eagles. Like, that's what everybody's thinking. Like, that's the overarching image of the NFC. Now the NFC is looking like it could be literally the 49ers versus the Detroit Lions, bro. Or the Packers can make it and play the what's the other fucking team? The damn whoever the other
Bucs.
The Bucs. Like,
It's
an insane
crazy.
thing.
And
It's crazy.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things. To me, the Philadelphia problems, like, I don't know if there's something that's going on in that locker room. Something just feels off about them. They don't feel like a team anymore. There's a lot of animosity.
They got stopped on their fucking touch push at the goal line on a two-point conversion, by the way.
Yeah, and we don't see that happen. So, Jalen Hurts wasn't able to, pad his fucking rushing rushing touchdown stats, breaking Cam Newton's record on faulty little 1-yard tush pushes. But we're finally seeing that Jalen Hurts is not as elite as everyone wanted to claim he was. Even though Dak held his meltdown, I think it is safe to say that Dak is still the best quarterback in that division. I personally still think that's safe to say. I don't know how that doesn't really necessarily make me feel good. Like, I don't think our division's that great, to be honest. I thought it was at one point, or at least I thought Cowboys and Eagles were, we were top heavy, but I don't know how top heavy we are anymore. Nick Sirianni, I don't necessarily think he should be fired. I think that's kind of wild that everyone thinks he should be fired. He was just in the Super Bowl, but we gotta have tough conversations. What's going on here? You digress on defense. You digress on offense. Nothing's getting better. We started off 10-1 and finished the season 1-6. We lost to Baker Mayfield, who went from the Browns to the Panthers to the Rams and now the Bucs. This nigga got benched on the motherfucking Panthers. He got benched on the motherfucking Panthers. And he out here blowing us out. What the fuck is this? If I'm Howie Roseman, I'm like, what the hell are we doing over here? We getting beat by Baker Mayfield, who got benched on the Panthers. We see what the Panthers doing. So, I don't know.
I mean, look, I hope the best for Jalen Hurts. I do like Jalen Hurts as a person. I don't like him as a quarterback. He seems like a good leader. But maybe his leadership is going to be tested a ton during this offseason. Because Jason Kelce Hall of Fame center, just retired. You knew this was going to be his last season. He wanted to win a Super Bowl before he left, another one or whatever. And obviously, be able to equal with his brother, but that's not going to happen. And now, this is the storyline I have to talk about, right? So Mike obviously predicted the Bucs winning that game. Then we had the Texans and the Browns. So let me tell you something, right? So on Saturday, me and some friends of mine went to a vintage market right down the road from my house. We walked over there, so like 15-minute walk. Walked over there, didn't really see anything we liked. There was a fucking bar. There's a bar across from it called Protagonist. We walk in, and it's a cool setup. We'll definitely, next time you're here, we'll definitely check it out because it's not too far from my place. But it's right down the road, and we walk in, and it's or walk on to the patio area, and it's like the Carolina Browns backers. So it's like a Browns bar, and people start following it. There's Browns fans everywhere. I've never seen so many shit fans in my life. And every person I talked to was from fucking Cleveland. Every single one, bro. People with their kids, all the kids are going crazy. They're excited about the game. And so we wait to watch the game start, and then I just see the fucking diminish. It is the funniest, dude. It is the funniest shit, bro. Seeing fans fucking lose faith in their team as the game's going on. This man, CJ Stroud, is fucking them up. First drive, play action. Nico Collins. 75 yards. And you will see their face. I'm literally looking at this guy that him and I had a conversation in the bathroom. He looks disgusting. He looks like he's about to throw up. He's there with his pregnant wife. He literally looks like he's about to throw up. Throw up on the first drive, bro. And then you can see them just getting fucking pounded. Joe Flacco looks like he just saw a fucking ghost. He saw a fucking ghost, bro. CJ Stroud is him, bro. I don't give a fuck. This is not no fluke shit, in my opinion. If he stays decently healthy, you might be looking at one of the next, and this might be a stretch. You might be looking at one of the greatest quarterbacks, and he will be a top 10 quarterback before he retires if he stays healthy. I don't think there's any way all time. I don't think there's any way I don't think he'll win the Super Bowl. The funny thing is, I don't think he'll win the Super Bowl.
Then he can't be top 10.
I would put him in the top 10 base. It will be his stats that put him there because he will literally go up. And if he's not top 10, he'll be in the top 20, which is fine.
I think CJ's the truth. He's the best quarterback in Texas right now. That pains me to say. It pains me to say that because Dak has such a good fucking year too. God, but CJ's the best in Texas right now. And the AFC should be fucking scared. AFC is getting good quarterbacks after good quarterbacks. It is stacked over there, and it's just getting harder and harder. Justin Herbert, my guy, guess what? You ain't going to be doing shit. You got all them flowers. You ain't win nothing. It's not going to get no easier for you. Joe Burrow, guess what? You going to get healthy. Guess what? It got harder for you, my boy, because CJ is here, and he is coming. And if you think that the Browns was the last stop for this nigga, hell no, my bro. Ravens should be scared. Ravens should be scared. And not because they're not going to do what they're going to do. Ravens are going to do what they're going to do. Lamar Jackson is going to do what he does. And obviously, he got his tight end back, Mark Andrews, so he's feeling confident with that. But if you think CJ is about to come in here and kneel to y'all niggas because y'all are supposedly next up, and this is supposedly the year that Lamar can win the Super Bowl, you got another thing coming. He's coming slicing and dicing. So y'all better be ready to put up 30 plus if you're going to beat CJ, because he's on a whole nother level. And it's his Lord, Jesus, Savior, and Christ that he keep telling y'all niggas, and y'all keep editing out in the interviews. He keep telling y'all he's on a path with Satan, but Jesus is walking with him, my brother. He is about to take all y'all down. He is the second coming of Christ.
That man is literally like, and I'm actually kind of tired of hearing him say, "Thank Jesus Christ." I respect it, and I look, I am nothing against God or people thinking God and all that stuff. I would thank God, for those type of opportunities too. I definitely think I'm in the opportunities I have in my day to day sometimes. So, But I mean, he is the truth. Once again, I will reiterate that we fucking lost. The Panthers fucking suck. We lost it. We had even the offensive line. No, motherfucker. Bro, it's called we ain't got a good coach. Look, D'Amico Ryan, coaching his team. Actually, black brother. Guess what? If we kept Steve Wilkes, we might have had some fucking success. But we would have break motherfucking right for nothing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I almost lost it there. But moving on, and so I wanted to say something about Justin Herbert. By the way, Justin Herbert, I know you don't get a fair trade. You get to play Patrick Mahomes twice a year. Like, I know it's not fair, bro. I know it's not fair. And Patty Mahomes loves coming to LA because he ain't got to play in the fucking freezing cold, and he can go out there and slice and dice and not have to think about anything. The Chiefs versus the Dolphins, per usual. The fucking Dolphins sucking dick and getting absolutely fucking smoked by Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Let me just go ahead and tell you, this might be an opportunity for the Chiefs to make it to the Super Bowl, bro. Again. And it's just pissing me off at this point. Like, how are we allowing this to happen with the shit team they have this year? Defense is great. The offense looks absolutely putrid at most times. Not sometimes, most times. Patrick Mahomes is more frustrated than he's ever been in his entire career. The dude has 2 Super Bowls in 8 years. The guy is 25. He's shooting 25% for a ring. Dog. Let's get it together.
They're the 90s Bulls, bro.
I know, it's pissing me off, bro. I mean, it's really pissing
Patrick
me off.
Mahomes, they have the best quarterback in the league and the best coach in the league. Andy Reid is the best coach in the league right now. Patrick Mahomes is by far the best quarterback, even on this year where his receivers are dropping. We see what Josh is doing. We see what all these other quarterbacks. We see what CJ's doing. But no one's over here or Lamar. No one really thinks that they're better than Patrick Mahomes. We still know who that nigga is. Regardless of how we feel about it, he is that nigga. And it seems like playoffs came and they just flipped the switch. And I'm kind of like you. I would not be surprised to see them in the Super Bowl again, or even holding up the trophy at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not going to see that ugly ass, dorky ass nigga in the Super Bowl again. I really ain't trying to see that nigga in the Super Bowl again. But speaking of Josh Allen and the Bills, I took the Steelers, you took the Bills. Bills put a fucking mollywop on the Steelers. They just showed them you guys are definitely you guys are playing a little bit above your pay grade. Stephon Diggs barely touched the ball, and Josh Allen didn't turn the ball over, which is like a fucking miracle.
So that's how you know the next game is going to be fucking gross.
Yeah, he'll have 4 picks, probably 2 pick sixes. Look, I ain't got nothing against Josh Allen. I think he's an overrated quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. Well, he's this, that, and the other. I don't give a fuck. He's not Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger could never move the way Josh Allen does. But I guarantee Ben Roethlisberger can win fucking football games. And
Big Ben is much better than Josh Allen. I don't care what nobody says.
But the Bills did show that they are the much better team. They did exactly what they're supposed to do in Buffalo. Even though that game literally got moved twice, I think, because of how the cold and the snow and all this other shit.
Yeah, and they didn't have assigned seats. They said sit wherever.
Yeah, which is kind of cool experience, I guess.
Unless you want them niggas that dropped 1,000 on them fucking seats.
I mean, I'm slapping somebody's ass.
Imagine getting there late and you up in the nosebleeds and shit. I'm like, hell no.
Nah, man. I mean, once again, Josh Allen just proven, that team just proven they're just a better team against a very, very, very out-talented Steelers, unfortunately. Mike Tomlin, he's still... I've said it a million times at this point. Mike Tomlin is one of the best coaches in the league by far. To even get his team to the playoffs and where they're at is a fucking miracle.
My favorite coach all time in the NFL. I would play for Mike. If I had a choice of who to play for, it would be Mike Tomlin, 1,000%.
That guy knows how to win. Has won with the Steelers, and he will find a way to get back to that Super Bowl. Maybe not in the next 5 years. Maybe in the next 5 years if he gets lucky with somebody. But
I hope they get Russell Wilson, to be honest. I think I could be a good marriage.
A good system. Yeah, a good system for him. And we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see what, obviously the rest of the playoffs, but the offseason this year in the NFL is all going to be fucking legendary, just like the playoffs I think are going to end up being. But then we finish off with quite possibly the best game of the weekend, the Lions versus the Rams. We both took the Lions. I had them in a blowout, 33-13, but you almost hit the score on the head, 28-24 Lions. Ended up being 24-23, and the Lions made a defensive stand at the end, which was insane because I thought Matthew Stafford was about to fucking do it to him. And I think it's awesome. They also have a black GM, the Lions do. I didn't even know that. And there's a video of him like celebrating in like the elevator after the win. It's super cool to see for Detroit because a lot of people have been waiting for decades to see this again, and now it's coming to fruition. Jared Goff will not be this consistent for the rest of the time he's there. I promise you guys. So go ahead and just.
They're not going to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know that right now. They're not going to the Super Bowl, but this is a really good team and they're fun to watch. Jameer Gibbs is insane. So is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Shout out to both of them because they were on my fantasy team, even though, it didn't really help me all that much when it really mattered. But still shout out to both of them. I'm with you. I don't think Jared Goff's going to stay that consistent. I think he'll be the Achilles heel when it's all said and done. Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua or whatever his name is.
He's a psycho, bro. That kid is crazy.
He's insane. Or I really just think it's Matthew Stafford. It seems like have you know? So the most yards from a season ever was held by Megatron, who Matthew Stafford was a quarterback for. The first time a receiver had a triple crown, which is when they led in receptions, yards, and touchdowns, was Cooper Kupp. Matthew Stafford was his quarterback. And the most receiving yards by a rookie in a season is Puka Nacua. I hope I'm saying his name right. Matthew Stafford was his quarterback. So essentially, if you are playing on a team and Matthew Stafford is his quarterback, bro, you better buddy up with that nigga because he will force feed you the ball and get you and break some kind of record for you. But, I mean, the Rams weren't supposed to be here this year. This was supposed to be a rebuild. They lost a lot of people. Jalen Ramsey went out the door. Bobby Wagner went out the door. Odell Beckham went out the door. And, this was great. And, I mean, the fact that they were still able to do this allowed them some time to build on top of that. That's going to be scary.
Yeah. I mean, and they're the equivalent of, they're the NFC Steelers this year, in my opinion. I think Green Bay wasn't necessarily, can't put them on the Steelers level. Green Bay is impressive where they're at, but LA definitely big win for them this year and, just getting to where they are. And people are excited for the rest of that team and, remaining Puka Nacua, a super exciting, player. And can't wait for the rest of his career, barring health and all of that good stuff. But let's go into predictions, man. We're getting to the end here. I know it's probably been a longer pod for some folks. We only had 4 topics, man. I tell you guys, we can go. We can fucking keep it rolling. But so I'm gonna run through the games. I'm gonna go from top to bottom. We got I went to last week. Sorry, that's Wildcard weekend. Excuse me. We have 4 games this week. We'll start on the Saturday games. We'll do them in order. We get the first game of the weekend. It's going to be banger game. ESPN, ABC, ESPN Plus. You can get your tickets for as low as $91 according to MANT. StubHub Stadium out there in Baltimore, Maryland. Houston at Baltimore. Mike, who you got? What's the score?
This is probably the hardest game to pick for me because, where do you go? Do you bet against CJ? Or do you bet against
Lord Jesus Christ? You're betting against CJ and Lord Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with the Ravens just based off of organization, experience. John Harbaugh is a great coach. I do think that this is set up. This is the best play Lamar's had for the Super Bowl run. Would love to see him do that and make that happen. That defense is insane. I don't think it's going to stop CJ in any capacity, but it might slow him down enough to where they get the dub. I'm going to go with the Ravens, but you're going to have to put up some points. So I'm going to say it's going to be 31-24 Ravens.
31-24 Ravens. Got you. I'm gonna go with the Ravens as well. Obviously, I'm at this point I'm rooting for Lamar because I just remember that speech that they've been consistently showing about how when he got drafted as late as he did, literally the last pick of the first round after they won the Super Bowl, I believe, or the year or two after, that he was going to bring him a Super Bowl. I'd love for that to come to fruition for him. That would be really cool to see, and I think hands down, one of the most exciting quarterbacks to watch in the game. I'm going to go 33-21 Ravens. I don't think that and yes, I do believe that CJ's going to do his thing. And I do think there will be a point in the game where the Texans have a chance to really change momentum, but I don't think it's going to change. And I'm saying that, and we're going to watch the game, I'm sure. But we'll come back and we'll talk about it, whatever happens in the game.
Would not be surprised if it went the other way, though. I would not be surprised.
No, wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't. Not to say I wouldn't.
Or shocked, I guess. Shocked.
Yeah, because at that point, I would definitely become a CJ Stroud Texans fan and just root for him because, I think that's super dope. But I will say, if the Texans end up playing the Chiefs in the AFC Championship, they're getting fucking mollywopped. I don't even think the Chiefs defense is going to even, care about CJ Stroud. They might try to kill him while they're out there.
Yeah.
Remember, CJ plays in a dome. And I think this is going to be a big effect as well when they're playing in Baltimore, where it's fucking cold as piss right now. And it'll be a very different game. But, I'm excited to see it, and I'm glad that's the first game of the weekend. It should be super dope. Next game we've got Green Bay, J Love, the big goat, against the carried one Brock Purdy. So I'll go first with my prediction for this one. See, in my head, I'm envisioning an upset like no other. It was already an upset for them to beat them at Dallas, right? It was already an upset to beat them, the Dallas Cowboys at Dallas. But for some reason, bro, I feel like there's some magic going on there. I don't know. I feel like there's something in the air with these younger quarterbacks, younger black quarterbacks in particular, that is just peppering. And I don't know, man. I'm going to take, and I'm going to probably bite my tongue on this, but I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers over the 49ers at home in an absolute thriller, 24-27. J Love leads them down to a last-minute drive, kick a field goal to win the game.
That's crazy. I had the same exact score, but I had the 49ers. But, and the only reason why I'm doing that is because the 49ers should win. They're the better team. But don't get me wrong, the fact that I have a 27-24 shows all the respect I have for Green Bay, and I will be rooting for Green Bay. Trust me, I don't like the 49ers. Fuck them. I really wanted Cowboys to be able to get their redemption against those boys, but I guess I'm going to have to live vicariously through Jordan Love, the certified lover boy. I hope they go out there and smoke them. But the 49ers have been preparing for this game for 2 weeks, and, the players said in the second quarter they started preparing for Green Bay.
Thing.
Which is fucked because they knew that game was over. In the second quarter of our game, they started game planning for Green Bay. So they've had plenty of time to game plan. I think they'll go out there and they'll execute to plan, and they'll get the job done.
I think I do want to mention one thing about the Packers. The reason I think they could win this game is because it's the same thing they did against Dak Prescott and the Cowboys offense. Dak was checking out of a lot of plays because he thought he saw a coverage that was there. There were so many plays that you could literally look. I guarantee it was at least 10 offensive plays, 10 to 12 offensive plays. He checked out to a different play, and they disguised the coverage. They showed such a different look than what it was post-snap that when he threw the two picks, he didn't even – I don't think he – I believe the first one was just a great play. But then again, it still was a coverage.
Yeah, the one where he threw the slant to Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is supposed to make that route. So, that was not necessarily on Dak. The ball was where it was supposed to be. He has to just hope that his man gets to his spot and the defender got to it, not Brandon Cooks. It's just a great play on the ball. The other one was just absolute shit. I did see exactly what you were saying, Sterling, and that was probably one of the most impressive things because this is the youngest team in NFL history in the playoffs, you know? So that was really impressive. And, you know, say what you want about Dak. When it comes to pre-snap, he's one of the best in the game at that. So, like, the fact that you were kind of, like, able to just, have him so rattled in the beginning, especially this season, too. Like, that has been his bread and butter, like, reading the defense, picking it out. That's what he's been doing. I do think Green Bay's going to come in hungry and ready to fight, man. I actually like that team. I mean, how could you not? Like, they had to force some kind of respect after that fucking beatdown.
Yeah, respectable. And this isn't the shit on Brock Purdy. Maybe some people think I'm shitting on him. Brock Purdy has been carried the entirety of this season. I don't care what anyone has to say. I do not want you to say, oh, like, he's such a good quarterback. Motherfucker, I would be a good quarterback. Like, I mean, it's not that hard.
If you look at all his highlights, them niggas wide the fuck open. Like, don't take no skill to do that.
Debo, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, fucking George Kittle. I don't care. You have Trent Williams guarding your blind side. I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, it does not matter what he does. He can't do wrong. And I don't think they say Brock's such an intelligent quarterback. If they do the same thing because they're going to mix things up again, right? Because they have extremely experienced guys on their defensive coordinating staff. And that will be a very interesting matchup. And I believe that if Brock Purdy somehow throws 2 picks like Dak did, not the same exact type of picks, but just 2 picks in general, I think 1,000% the Packers will win. But I do believe that Jay Love will throw a pick that game, 100%. But I think if they win the turnover battle, it's a wrap. I do not think the 49ers are going to be able to win the game because I think it will be 100% on Brock Purdy if they lose. Next game. What's the next game? So that was the last game on Saturday. That's your 8:15 game on Fox. Tickets for as low as $175. That's in Levi's Stadium, Santa Clara, California. If you're trying to pull up to Santa Clara, California for $175 and find a hotel for probably $400, $500 a night, go ahead, be that idiot. Sunday game, 3 o'clock. I love a nice, good midday game. Tampa Bay at Detroit on NBC. Tickets for as low as, guess the price. They're the most expensive tickets on the 4 games on this weekend. Guess the price of these motherfuckers.
The lowest tickets?
Yeah, the lowest ticket.
What, 200?
$492. Ford Field, Detroit, Michigan. I'm telling you, that craze is insane in Detroit right now, which I love it. My aunt lived in Detroit for a majority of her life after she moved away from my parents' home or my dad's hometown, and she loves it. She's rooting for Detroit. So, Paulette, shout out you. Wish you could have got me in one of the games. I've been sick, but that being said, I'll go ahead with my pick. So, obviously, Detroit they are like the definition of grit. Like, that whole team is a definition of grit. And I think they have something about them that makes them special. Not Super Bowl special. Don't fucking start drooling at the mouth if you're a Detroit Lions fan, because I promise you I ain't letting you get a Super Bowl. Y'all are the only 0-16 team to ever play, ever, in the NFL. And your coach was a part of that team. I'm taking the Lions, stomping the Bucs, stomping them in a absolute wannabe shootout because Baker Mayfield is just as inconsistent as Jared Goff. I'm taking it 30-10.
Dang, our scores are pretty close on this. I'm going Detroit Lions 30-13. I think, as awesome it is that the Buccaneers got their win, I think we do have to put it into context. The Eagles team that we saw in that playoff game in the 7 weeks leading up to that playoff game, they have been, one of the worst teams in the league. That Eagles team, had they played like that all season, would be drafting for Marvin Harrison Jr., top 3 pick right now in the NFL draft. That team's been playing awful. So we have to put that into perspective when we think about that win. It's a playoff win, so you can't take that away from him. Can't take it away from Baker. He's going to get at least 20-something mil for a couple seasons while they look for the next guy to come in and replace him, which I do think is deserving. I mean, yeah, but I do think it's deserving. I would give him 20, 25 million to come play for 2 years while we try and find somebody who can actually play. So I'm going to go, I said 30-13, Detroit Lions. Smack that ass. Get them out of here. They're frauds. They're frauds.
Yeah, NFC South is dog shit. So, I mean, trust me, the Panthers are in there. Like, look, trust me. Look at our division. Granted, Tampa Bay, the Saints, and the fucking Falcons were all kind of going.
There's no quarterbacks in that division.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, it's just a weak division. That division won't have a champion for probably the next decade at least. And they probably won't even make the NFC fucking championship game, to be frank, for the next 10 years, which is fucking miserable to say. Last game of the weekend. It is a 6:30 game out in Buffalo, motherfucking New York. So both these teams are both accustomed to the extreme cold. Kansas City and Buffalo. One quarterback's a little bit better than the other, or a lot better than the other. That game is on CBS. Like I said, 6:30. Tickets for as low as $130 out up in Highmark Stadium, Orchard Park, New York. If you want to go die in New York, go on ahead to Orchard Park. You might get fucking hung up on a tree. That being said, I'll go ahead with my score and my result of the game. I really fucking don't like Patrick Mahomes. And Buffalo got the monkey off their back a little while ago, beating Patrick Mahomes. I don't think Patrick Mahomes and them, and this is their year. I don't think it's supposed to be their year, personally. I don't think it's time for somebody else to have their shine. I think Buffalo will show them who's off. Not in a bad way, right? Like, not like, oh, we're going to fucking mollywop them, because it'd be hard to fucking beat the Chiefs, regardless, because they're a playoff and experienced team. They're two-time Super Bowl champion, Kelsey and Andy Reid, three-time Super Bowl champion, or two-time Super Bowl champion, and, tough beat. I'm taking the Bills in an absolute fucking grueler, shootout type shit, 33-30.
Okay. Yeah, no, Josh Allen, you got to go home on again. You got to get the fuck out of here, my bro. You gonna have to get the fuck out of here, my bro. This shit gonna be looking bad. No, I think Josh is gonna make some highlight plays. I also think he's gonna make some dumb-ass plays. And I do think that the Chiefs will have, like, some drops that, like, they've been having all season, but I don't think they'll make any dumb-ass plays. And because of that, I think the Chiefs' defense is locked down. Josh is going to turn the ball over 2-3 times, I'm telling you. 24-20, Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes makes it to his 6th straight AFC championship to play Lamar Jackson. Will be the absolute showdown of the fucking century. I can't wait for it, because honestly, if we be in 1,000%, the two most dynamic quarterbacks over there in the AFC is Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. So that'll be a quarterback showcase for the ages, and I'll be looking forward to it. And what better way for Lamar Jackson to go to his first Super Bowl than to get over the fucking MJ of the 90s Bulls of football right now himself, Patrick Mahomes. That way nobody... Yeah, and he'd have to get past C.J. Stroud. So that nobody could question Lamar Jackson's playoff run. But he's going to have to get through Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion, is going to be beating the Buffalo Bills. I think Buffalo Bills are the little brother to the Kansas City Chiefs. And even on their off year, they'll still get their ass whooped. So, I think it's going to be a close game. And I think that the Bills should win the game. But Josh Allen's going to ruin it because he's going to have multiple turnovers, and that's what it's going to come down to.
Yep. And I will say something. I think if Josh Allen makes his legs as effective as they were against the Steelers, granted, the Chiefs defense is better than the Steelers defense, which is something that you would usually never hear back in like 6-7 years ago, But if he can make his legs a factor, which I'm assuming he will, because I don't think he has the same amount of confidence in his arm that he probably once had, it could be that score. I do think that Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to shoot it out because he is Patrick Mahomes, even though he gets dudes. I mean, they don't call holding on the Chiefs. I don't fucking care what anybody says. I've never seen more holds in my entire life. More than Tom Brady, actually, that were not called. So Buffalo's defense is going to be working real hard. It's going to be cold. It's going to be a lot of fucking emotions involved. And it's going to be a showdown. I think, like I said, it's going to be Bills versus Ravens. And I think that Lamar's just, at that point, you're just going to put fucking Josh Allen in a fucking suitcase and tell him to pack his fucking bags and go back to fucking Buffalo where you belong, or Manhattan, where the fuck you live. So I'm excited. I know you're excited, man. I love football, man. I love
football's great. The only thing that this is some of the best time of the year, and the only bad part about it is knowing that it's almost fucking over, and there's no other sport that comes close to like garnishing my attention on a week-to-week basis like football. So That's the only thing that's pathetic about it. But on the bright side, at least I can no longer suffer any more heartbreak this postseason. So that does make me feel good. But
I mean, you're in the same boat as me now. I mean, honestly, all I'm doing
I'm never in the same boat as you. I'm never in the same boat as you. No.
The only thing I don't want to happen, I do not want the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl because I will actually do some fucking absurd shit.
If they win, when will they not? That's why I don't want them to win. Like, on a year like this, they should not win. If they win this year, because they're going to... All that shit that happened this year, that's not going to happen next year. They're going to fix that shit. If you don't think they're going to get somebody up in that bitch who can catch the damn ball, you are tripping. You're tripping. They learned their lesson. So,
I think home field advantage in the playoffs this year is going to be a huge thing, aside from the Packers game that I obviously chose over the 49ers.
Only home team to lose in the playoffs so far, Cowboys.
Yeah.
And first 7 seed to win in NFL history.
I just think that right now, you're looking at, I mean, if you look at the quarterbacks up in the left, you got C.J. Stroud, you've got Lamar, you got Jay Love, you got Brock Purdy, you've got Jared Goff, you've got Patrick Mahomes, and you've got freaking Josh Allen.
All first round picks but Brock.
Yeah. And you think that, like, you look at this now, I could legitimately, barring health, I could legitimately see the same exact 8 teams in this position next year. I am not even fucking joking. Same 8 teams with no, like, almost, if they're, like I said, barring health. So there will be some rematches, but like I said, I'm really excited for the J Love game. I'm pumped. More excited. I mean, obviously Lamar's going to be my most intense game that I want to watch the most because he's so fun to watch.
And CJ, the combination of CJ.
Yeah, that's just going to be an insane thing to watch. 2 really good quarterbacks, going at it. But I am ultra pumped for the Packers to walk in there and beat the 49ers at home and absolutely tell Joey Bosa to stop with the racist shit. I don't know if you saw that shit. He said African American. Have you seen that video? And it's African American. It is like Joey Bosa's like this.
No, I mean, I'm excited for all the games but Detroit Bucks. I think the game I'm most excited for is probably Bills Chiefs, just because we know what happens every time Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen face off. It's fucking epic every single time. So, I mean, I think that's going to be awesome, but I'm looking forward to it. We will reconvene next week and recap everything that happens. So, that is episode 37 for now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Make sure you like and subscribe. For the fellas out there listening, listen, man, they only want a 1% nigga, so quit your bitching and get your bread up. For the ladies out there listening, he don't want you, sweetie. Move on already. But guess what? It's okay, because you're still beautiful and powerful and will always love you. It's the After Dark Podcast. Until next time.